Good morning, children. And yes, it is that cold up here in Minnesota. It was like in the upper 20s this morning. And that's why I'm wearing this. And my house hasn't heated up yet with the wood burning stove that I have installed. But I felt very manly cutting all the wood earlier this season. And, yeah, got the chainsaw going. Sharpened the chainsaw, tightened the chain. Mix the oil, the right oil-gas mixture. The chainsaws, they require a lot of loving. They're high maintenance. They actually are more complicated bits of machinery than Okay, anyway, yes, I did get off another 12-hour shift working security, which is why I know it was 27 freaking degrees in October. Because the coldest is right before dawn comes up, before the sun hits. I knew this working many years ago at the police department. The dog shift, you get to patrol outside. Because we all know crime occurs when it's 20 below zero and there's snow on the ground at 4 a.m. That's when crime occurs. That's why you got to go patrol out in those streets. Anyway, my tormented college days aside, let's talk about Paul Thornton. Now try to look him up. This is the idiot over at the LA Times. And honestly, people, it's another let's peer behind the curtain and see the fucking Wizard of Oz, and he's this emaciated little pathetic putz. Paul Thornton is this idiot at the LA Times that says he ain't publishing no more comments on the editorial board. For anyone that disagrees about global warming deniers. A lot of people call criticism or foul play on me because I don't post everybody's comments either. And there's a hair of difference, but it's a pretty big hair of difference. When you post stupid shit on my blogs and my YouTube video or whatever, I'll delete them. Or if I know for a fact, like I have the empirical data to prove it, and there's not a compelling argument or a case, like it's pretty conclusive, I'm just like I'm done. Or if it's just cursing, swearing, whatever, you get the idea. This guy refuses to post any kind of dissent about there being global warming, whether the globe is actually warming and all that. And there's a lot of empirical data on both sides. Let's just be a little giving or honest on that regard. So it's not like when someone tells me, I'm trying to think of a common argument. You know what's sad is that you leftists, you really don't tender empirical arguments. It's all emotional. That's why nothing's coming to mind right now. Every once in a while, I will make a leftist post. I'll approve a leftist because it's legitimate. Someone has put some thought and energy and effort into this. But if you look at global warming, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that global warming isn't happening, that it's not anthropologic, whatever, man-made, whatever. The dude is becoming a Nazi and going against free speech. So I want to look him up, and I want to continue doing this to all you people out there in the mainstream media, because I'm finding out, holy shit, is it a house of cards you guys got going on? First it was these two poor unfortunate girls that you guys fed to the wolves with the ABC 2020 Manosphere post. Now I look up this Paul Thornton guy. Now he's hard to find. Usually you can find somebody's profile because these people are vain. All I could get on Paul Thornton. Now okay, let's think about this, people. He's the editor of the LA Times. That's a pretty fucking big deal, don't you think? LA Times, pretty big. Editor, pretty big. Dude fucking was an intern in 2004. I graduated in 97. That meant I interned in 93. So we do the math. He's 10 years younger than me, so he's still in his 20s, upper 20s, early 30s. He's already the editor of a major newspaper. So it's either he's a really awesome journalist, or maybe the newspaper is about to collapse, or it's just a rag. And actually, hang on. Know what? I got a copy. Hang on. Let me get a copy. Getting a copy, singing my music. Doody-doody-doo. Here, let me get I got a direct feed to the LA Times. Let me get a direct feed here. Here we go. The latest news. You can buy this. It's a premium subscription. Here's the latest LA Times. There we go. Okay. So either an amazingly advanced 28, 29, 30, 31, 32-year-old guy is making waves and has already made it to editor of the LA Times, or maybe the LA Times is just this. Shit. Toilet paper. Die. Gotta fucking matches. I'm gonna drive around town and put babies on spikes. Woo! If anyone knows that reference, you know what, I will. I'll send you a cigar. If you know that reference, either first account, I will send you a cigar for that reference. Okay, anyway, here's the whole point. Paul Thornton is some brilliant guy at a young age to make it as editor of the LA Times. What has happened is the LA Times has become this. A fucking piece of shit. And I would like to wipe excrement and fecal material on it because that would be more accurate. But that's what it's become, people. And that's what I'm trying... And this is a recent discovery. I always knew there was something wrong with the mainstream. I knew they were biased. But you look, you just lift... You open up the hood. My God, these are the people that are in charge? You got a 30-year-old, roughly, I'm estimating. Paul, tell me if I'm wrong. You got a 30-year-old who I can't find nothing about nobody on. I know he graduated from UC Berkeley, so he's biased to the left. I'm assuming he majored in journalism, so he didn't like math. He didn't want to work hard at life. He didn't want to actually get a real job. But the fact that so many young people are getting into mainstream media and getting play is amazing to me. And getting positions of power like this. So it's not a fact that Paul's a really awesome editor. It's that the LA Times is a shell of what it used to be. You know, Newsweek versus Newsweek. Like liberal male arms. They can't, let's talk, let's negotiate our differences. That's really what the difference is. And this is what, you hear something as outlandish as this not that I'm old or wise, but I'm certainly older and wiser than him. I've gone through more shit than that. You look at this and say, wait, what the hell's this? What's going on here? This is journalism? You're the fourth branch of government? And you're shutting down speech? I run a blog, and it's for my own personal advantage and benefit, but if I were to be the editor of the Los Angeles Times, I would be like, well, what's policy, let's take my personal, this is a business, this is pretty serious, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't that much of a business anymore. Maybe it ain't that serious. Maybe you are just becoming like Time Magazine and Newsweek, and this is all you're becoming, and that's where my money is. Because after looking at ABC in the 2020 piece, and not looking at Paul Thornton, fucking 30, no offense to 30-year-old kid, look, hey, I understand, at 30, you could achieve a lot of things. It's not impossible. But given the modern day environment with the baby boomers fucking never retiring because they didn't save up enough money for retirement, so we're all waiting for you to fucking get out of there so we can get promoted and unfuck this country up. There, basically that's it. We would like to unfuck the country up. You fucked it up, we would like to unfuck it up so that we might have a future. I understand that, but no, I don't understand this. How you, Paul Thornton, which I can't find on the internet, how the fuck you became editor of the LA Times? So it's more of a condemnation as to the status of the LA Times that somebody like you who would just shut down speech like that and disagreement on a big platform like this. So the larger lesson for us all to learn here is not Paul Thornton being a Nazi dick. It's really to look at mainstream media. It's really to look at this as a testament to what mainstream media has become. This is it. It's a joke. It is this once again. It's a joke. It's a freaking joke. All you got to look at who they're employing, and this isn't a slam on young people, but you shouldn't be sending fresh off the assembly line 23-year-old girls to go talk about the manosphere, and you shouldn't be making the likes of Paul Thornton your fucking editor. And unless he's like old school, I could be completely wrong, and somebody look into this. You know what? I'll have my... Paul, don't worry about it. You don't have to send me nothing. I'll have my people look into it. Me, this no-name blogger, without a fucking degree in journalism. I'm guessing what your degree is. A hobbyist blogger. I got more fucking media and journalism pull than you'll ever have. And I guarantee you my agents in the field, they're going to pull up shit on you and they'll be able to give me a full, what's the word of it, dossier on you. But I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right. You're roughly 31, 32. I'm going to bet your parents paid your way through college. But that's not a risky bet because pretty much everybody had their way paid through college over in Southern California. You went to Berkeley, so there's already the media bias. But if you ended up in the LA Times, you're a blogger journalist, you can, what little dossier I do have on you here, you majored in journalism. I'm just going to go journalism as a major. You interned in 2004. Yeah, I'm just going to go that you're just this guy who should be a full-grown man, but you're still in that, yeah, man, let's bring down your sister, man. Yeah. And what's scary is that you were put in charge of something like the LA Times, like the editorial, that you could just say, and we're not, we don't like this opinion, go fuck yourselves. And Zig Heil, hey, do you know how to goose step? Well, you better learn. It's called the Berkeley Goose Step. Do it with me now. Do it with me. Berkeley Goose Step. Do it with me now. Zig Heil. Zig Heil. It's but I'll get you. No. You know, retaliatory sense, but I'll figure it out. Someone in my group, my network, my lieutenants, my economists, my agents in the field, they'll find it, and we're going to find out all about it. Maybe I'll make a follow-up post of how you deem it worth it. But there's the paradox, there's the irony. Is it even worth following up? Because after what I saw behind, how much rot and decay, and how much it's just like this old 55-year-old woman trying to keep her appearances up that was the hottest shit back in the 70s. That's what ABC 2020 looked like, and that's what it's looking like Los Angeles Times is looking like, and I have a feeling that's what most of mainstream media is looking like. It's just going to be another couple years until, like, this, you know, we're extreme, we're fringe, whatever, people aren't listening to us, but over the course of time, people are going to realize just what kind of bullshit it is. You know what? Here's an interesting Thanos. I was looking and searching Paul Thornton, and there were articles and, like, I kept getting articles and links from, like, the LA Times or the Berkeley paper or whatever interviewing this guy, and this guy interviewing other people within the industry. I'm like, well, isn't that a little bit cronyistic? Why are you interviewing people within yourselves? And what's funny is, I think I speak for many bloggers, many podcasters, many people here on the new media. It feels so fake, and there's an element of shame when you go and interview your buddy. Now, let's take, for example, I'm going to do an interview with Danny from 504. He's very extreme, and a lot of you don't like him, but he's actually following a particular route in life that I find very interesting. So I want to interview him. Now, I'm his friend. I like him personally. He's like unsweetened or flavored rum, if you've ever had it. It's really harsh to go down, but I like him. But he's gone down this particular path that I very much like. Now, me interviewing him, I don't view that as professional. I view this as kind of like a hobby. Some people might be interested in it, but I'm starting to realize that's what you, quote, professionals do in the mainstream media. You simply interview and suck each other's cock, and then you pass it on to the rest of the naive consumers of mass media, like, oh, this is very serious. Jim Jones of the Jim Jones Institute that I went to Sigma Rep with, well, let's talk about your Jim Jones initiative. And everyone is blinded by that little thin veil of bullshit you put up. And it's the same thing I've seen here. It's like people interviewing their next door neighbor about the dogs or some other crap like that. And then when I actually go and seek out somebody who has a unique story or has something interesting that I thought my readers or my viewers or whatever, I guess becoming multimedia, I start to realize I'm just as legit, probably even more so than you, because I ain't got no political agenda. I'm just like, well, this is really interesting, and I'll go interview him, and I put it on the podcast. So people like, this may or may not be relevant to you, but like Silvio Canto, Carrie Lutz over at Financial Survival Network, what's the, Follow the Money, followthemoney.com. These guys, it's like, we're doing it as a hobby. And then when you go and interview other people, you're thinking like, well, this is kind of fake. Like, it's so fake. That's the whole point, guys. Let me tell all my comrades in arms. You think we're fake? Not that we were aiming to be fake. We just thought it'd be really interesting. Oh, this guy's got something interesting over here. Let's talk to him. We're way more legit than the mainstream media is now. Way more, because we're honest. We're fucking honest. And I'll be politically, intellectually honest. You can see this in Fox News. Sean Hannity interviewing Ann Coulter. Jesus fucking Christ. Will you people stop being such fucking elitists? Well, Ann Coulter, what do you think about... Republicans suck. My Sean Hannity impersonation is the exact same as Ann Coulter. I think because I don't know how to do Ann Coulter. But you get the idea. There's an element of nepotism and cronyism going on there. So I will agree with those of you on the left that that's what's happened. But as far as I can tell with this LA Times thing and this, it's a facade. It's all bullshit. It's all image. It's all flash, no cash. All plastic, no metal. That's what it is. So in any case, I just want to not take you down, Paul. Expose you. You're on the media, you're going to tell us what to think. You're in this unique position of power. You're the editor of the LA Times. You're going to say what can and cannot be said? All right, motherfucker. I'm going to look into you and see who you are, figure you out psychologically, look at your background, blah, blah, blah. And so far, it ain't looking good for you. You're a young kid. You're 30-something. Well, it's not even that it's not good looking for you. You actually would stand a shot because you got in that position. What it really does is it speaks volumes about your employer and just how fucking pathetic and desperate they are. So, in any case, I'll have my agents on it. We'll dig up some stuff about you. We're going to find out what kind of a person you are, what your political beliefs are, where you volunteer, blah, blah, blah. And for all my agents out in the field, please do, because I can't find... Now, I admit, I've only done like 25, 30 minutes of this. But let's look into Paul Thornton. Let's look into this guy who says that I'm disregarding all that and I'm an editor of the LA Times and we're not going to talk about this anymore and everyone's got to pay more taxes and capitalists suck and let's go to... Because that's what you're saying, Paul, isn't it? And at any time you can make a responsatory... Is that a good word? Is that a word? Responsatory video? I like that. We're going to stick with it. I create words. If you read every book I've written... There's always a new word I create. And I'm like, what's the real word? And I'm like, no, I like that word. I'm sticking with this made-up word. So you can make a responsatory video if you would like. But yeah, in the meantime, we're going to figure out if you're going to tell the rest of society what to think, what is going to be approved speech or not. Let's investigate you, Paul. Let's figure you out a little bit more. Because there ain't nothing, maybe you're even hiding yourself a little bit. I just want to figure out, if my theories are correct. Like, you majored in a worthless fucking liberal arts degree, mommy and daddy paid your way, and then, you swallowed it whole, and even though you're in journalism, you have absolutely no desire to adhere to the truth, but rather just propagate a political agenda. That's it. So, okay, that's all I got. This is a completely unprofessional, non-journalist, non-trained in the thing, and I've been drinking too much Canada Dry diet tonic water. Diet tonic water. I actually like the tonic water because no one drinks it. It's too harsh. But I'll never get... what was the movie? The Great Raid. They always got malaria, so you drink quinine. This has got quinine in it. So I don't think I'll get quinine. Not that there's been a quinine epidemic in Minnesota recently, or ever, to my estimation. Philippines and the tropics maybe, but not here. Anyway, I gotta go to bed. I've been up too long. I'll see you guys. Love you all. I do. Seriously. Oh, hey, but before I forget, thanks a hell of a lot to all of you people. I have no idea, but book sales have gone through the roof. I don't know what you guys are doing, or if you're spreading the word, or whatever. But honest to God, thanks a lot. You have no idea not only how much it means to me personally, but the extra money. You guys are making it impossible to be a minimalist. If it keeps going like this, I'll be bumped up into another tax bracket, and then I'll hate you all, and I'll murder you. No, I'm kidding. But no, seriously, I appreciate whatever's going on out there. That worthless, enjoy the decline. The sales are like way high. I didn't even spend any money on advertising, so I appreciate it. I'm assuming it's you guys out there spreading the word. Whatever. We're done with the love fest. Get the fuck out of here. Toodles. Bye.